as now, due to COVID-19, we cannot meet face-to-face to deliver our message. So we rely on voice and video communication. Besides, voice and video calls are also easier for us, especially students, to record for when the information being shared will be need to reference later. Last but not least, communicating through writing by using text message via telephone, emails, or write-in letter, which commonly used in workplace. Okay, now we move to the next stage, stage 4, message receiver. In this stage, the receiver will receive the message. And if the channel and medium function properly, the message reaches its intended receiver. However, near arrival at the destination is not a guarantee that the message will be noticed or understood correctly. The next presenter will explain about the communication barriers. Okay, now is stage 5, decoding of message. After receiver receive the message, the receiver then try to understand by reading and listening to the message and decoding meaning from it. But assigning meaning through decoding is highly personal that influenced by many aspects such as culture, individual experience, learning, and thinking style. Okay, that's all from me. We move to the next presenter.
Hi, I'm Farah. The last presenter, I'm going to continue with the stage 6 of communication process, which is feedback or response. So after decoding or understand the message, the receiver gives back response upon message sent. Feedback or response is a two-way process. Without feedback, the sender has no idea whether they are getting closer to mutual understanding. Feedback mechanisms are 6 of them: questions, body language, listening indicators, echoing, paraphrasing, and summarizing. For questions, you can ask different types of questions to guide the conversation. They indicate to sender whether you have understood the message or whether it needs some adjusting. For body language, if it concerns a physical encounter, the posture of your body and face says a lot about whether you are following the sender or not. For listening indicators, minor utterances like yes, and right indicate to sender that you are still following. For echoing, similar to listening indicators, just that you repeat part of the last sentence of the sender. For paraphrasing, with this you explain back to the speaker what you have just heard, but in slightly different words. It can have a strong clarifying effect, shows the speaker whether you have understood her points. And lastly, the summarizing. With this, you offer a core summary of what the speaker just said, making the speaker feel sure that you have got his main point. And the last stage of communication process is noises. Noises can distract receiver from understanding the message. Example of noises are poor communication skill from both parties, sender and receiver, lack of writing skill can lead to misunderstanding, poor facial expression during communication, information overload by too many incoming messages, cultural differences between sender and receiver, and lastly, distorted perception to be appear in communication process. So in a nutshell, communication is the key to everything. Sending and receiving messages and making sure they are interpreted correctly helps getting tasks done. We have to understand, without communication, we can't do business, we can't persuade clients, or even introduce our company to others. I think that's all from us. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Second group, please.
Can you see the slide? Hello?
Okay, dapat.
Nampak ke?
Nampak.
Okay, macam dia. Assalamualaikum and very good morning to Dr. Baya and to all my friends. We are from Group 11 and we are going to present about communication. My name is Nushaira binti Abdul Hakim. My metric number is 050727 and my friends are Nur Salsabila binti Muhammad Rosdi 050160 and Umi Kalsum binti Muhammad Sidi 050069. From the previous presentation, we all know that communication is a message encoded by a sender and decoded by a receiver. Communication also very important in the business environment. Manager must be able to communicate with employee, and also employee must be able to communicate with manager in order to have profitable business. Now I will talk about my topic, which is direction of communication and some of advantages and disadvantages of each flow communication. We have three directions of communication, which is downward communication and upward communication, or known as vertical communication. And the last one is lateral communication, or known as horizontal communication. First, we go to downward communication. Downward communication happens when information or message flow down through organizational formal chain of hierarchy structure. For example, as you can see, I have put a little girl represent as a manager and a little boy as a normal employee. Situation for downward communication, we can say manager from IT department gives some instruction or order to her employee about what she needs to do in their job. Downward communication, we can conclude that communication flow from higher level to lower level in the organization. For your information also, this communication can either be in the form of one-to-one discussion, group meeting, and also announcement on the office website. Next, we go to upward communication. Upward communication happens when employee, the lower level in the organization, convey a message to manager, the higher level than them. For example, the employee talk or discuss about the issue and give some suggestion to their manager how to solve the problem that they are faced. So we can say that upward communication flows from the employee, the lower level, to high level, the manager. In this upward communication, the information normally employees send to their manager are their performance report about the suggestion for improvement and also the problem or the issue that they are faced. The last one is lateral communication, or known as horizontal communication. This communication is an exchange of information among the staff at the same level. For example, employee from IT department discuss with the employee from accounting department. Employee with employee or manager from IT department exchange their information with the manager from their exchange with the manager from human resource department. Manager with manager. For lateral communication, we can conclude that the flows of communication is in the same level, whether employee with employee or manager with manager from different departments in order to exchange about the information that they do not know. Next, we go to the advantages and disadvantages for each communication flow. First, we go to downward communication. The advantages is organizational discipline and efficiency. So, downward communication follow the organization structure hierarchy. Means organizational discipline and member complaints are easier to maintain. While for efficiency, downward communication offers efficiency because the instruction and information come from the source in power that are able to coordinate activities from the top of organization. While for the disadvantages is slow feedback and not motivating. Slow feedback means it takes time for message to go down to the organization and then up and then go back down again in the organization. Not motivating means given slow feedback and the dependence on the former channel of communication, this method of communication does not really help with the motivation. Next, we go to upward communication. The advantages is feedback and mutual trust. Manager can get feedback from employee that can help improve organizational development. And also, employees who are encouraged to provide feedback feel respected and they have a say in how the organization is run. For the mutual trust brings employee and manager close to each other. That can make relationship between employee and manager become more stronger. While for the disadvantages is delay and reluctance. Delay means sometimes employee hesitate to let manager to know about any problem that they are faced because doing that also means that they are accept of failure. Hence, delay may take place when employee decide whether or not to inform their manager or to try to solve the problem by themselves. For the reluctance means employee reluctant to provide information through upward channel because that they fear retaliation. If employees feel that their messages are viewed as complaint, they will feel that manager will find a way how to terminate them. For the last one is lateral communication. The advantages is save time and immediate feedback. Save time means many urgent or information or important decisions in the organization can be taken or handled it on the spot. For the immediate feedback, this lateral communication is generally oral and personally, so the chance of misunderstanding are less as the feedback is immediate. While for the disadvantages is waste of time in gossiping and interdepartmental rivalry. Lateral communication make employees too friendly with each other and there is possibility that they will waste their time in gossip. While for the interdepartmental rivalry, there may be unhealthy competition among the various of departments in the organization. So the conflict or rivalries may disrupt the work of the organization. That's all from me. Thank you. Next, I will pass the presentation to next presenter. Thank you.
Boleh nampak ke slide?
Nampak?
Okay. Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Dr. Bahya and my fellow classmates. Today I would like to present about barriers to effective communication. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Nur Salsabila binti Muhammad Rosdi and my matrix number will be 050160. Before that, I will tell you what is barrier to effective communication. A message will be clearly understood should it be free from barriers that impede effective communication. Unfortunately, these barriers exist and negatively impact the receiver's capacity to understand the message received. Okay, next for the common barriers to effective communication. As you know, barriers dalam bahasa Melayunya halangan. Next, first one will be selective perception, different understanding on the message delivered, meaning that differences of opinion lead to misunderstanding and the causes of the message are not understood. The second one will be filtering of information. As the senders, it will screen out certain information before it is sent to the receiver. For the receiver becomes the next sender who would interpret and refine the information. For example, by today I will present about the topic of barrier in communications, and I'm going to make sure everything that I'm going to present by today will be interesting and audience can understand. But when audience have understand for sure, audience as a receiver will try to fix and understand the information before pass to another receiver. And the causes of the communication process happen when from one person to another fix the information. And the third one will be language differences. One word can be interpreted to give different meanings, and it differs in many ways. They may use different sound and they make words in different ways. For example, I will give a dialect. A dialect is a variety of a language which, while different from other dialects of language, is totally understandable by other people who speak other dialects of the same language. For example, dialect Kelantan, Terengganu, and etc. The causes of the language will be any language barrier is going to slow down the communication and lead to misunderstandings and conflicts. For the fourth one will be information overload. Has too much to do and the information that received is more than expected. For example, workers will most likely to take a shortcut by ignoring certain pieces of information which is actually important. And the costs of the information lead to loss of information and result in of information and result in effective communication. For emotions, there will be different intonation, different facial expressions, and different choice of words used to convey the message. For this one, will be the feeling that we feel and how we express it into emotions. And if you are in good condition, then it can turn the situation in good and happy. And the second last will be poor listening skills. For example, Okay, the receiver does not pay enough attention to the message being delivered and causes a communication breakdown. For example, right now, you don't really pay enough attention for my presentation, and when the lecturer asks, and there will be a barrier in communication. The last one will be distractions, noise and sentences that are too short, bad handwriting, or interruption by a third party. Means that there will be a lot of noise when doing online classes, or your mom asks you to go buy to the grocery. That's all for me. I will pass to the next presenter, Umi.
Don't blame your mother. Okay, the third one will be Umi Kalsum, eh? Alright.
Nampak ke slide?
Tak. Okey, dah nampak Bella. Okey, boleh dengar saya ke?
Boleh.
Okey.
Clear.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to our lecturers, Dr. Bayah, and to all my friends. My name is Ummi Kalsum binti Muhammad Sibi and my metric number is 050069. Okay, today I want to present about the topic how to improve our communication skills. Next. Okay. Communication is an integral element in daily activities, but at the same time, it can be ineffective. Okay, sometimes people listen not to understand what is being said, but rather just to respond to the sender. Ineffective communication leads to unsuccessful activities and conflicts, which could be tarnish the name of an organization as well. Next. Communication skills can be improved to avoid ineffective communication. Next. There are 5 ways to improve our communication skills. Firstly, be a good listener. Secondly, understand and master nonverbal communication. Thirdly, be mindful of individual differences. And the fourth one is have a high level of emotional awareness. The last one is improve workspace design. Next. Okay, the first one is be a good listener. Next. Listening is a critical feature in effective communication. The sender and the receiver will have a common understanding of what the message is and later what the action would be. By implementing and practicing effective listening at the workplace can create a safe environment where ideas, comments and feedback are welcome. This would lead to a more harmonious working atmosphere for an organization. Next. The second one is understand and master nonverbal communication. Next. Many people express their thoughts using body language. Fail to understand the signals will create misunderstanding. To understanding nonverbal communication, one needs to practice observing how people use body language in communicating and what the reactions to the behavior are. Managers and leaders also need to learn that art of conveying positive feeling through body language. Next. The third one is be mindful of individual differences. Different cultures, age groups, genders, races, and religions use nonverbal signs differently. One needs to understand these signals and be sensitive to the differences in practice, as misunderstanding misunderstanding could lead to the conflicts. Next. The fourth one is have a high level of emotional awareness. Emotional awareness is an awareness of moment-to-moment emotional experience. We have a high emotional awareness can assist a person to understand and empathize with what another person is facing. Have a high level of emotional awareness also helps to build a strong relationship among group members as it creates trusting and rewarding relationship. Okay, the last one is improve workspace design. In certain organizations and culture, a wide gap between the managers and the employees is practiced. The gap is shown by the workspace layout. For example, in some organizations, the rooms occupied by the managers or leaders are not located in the same floor or work area where the employees are situated. This will create a barrier and distance between the managers and the employees. With the redesigning of the workspace or work area to create open discussion area, common cafeterias as well lower cubicles will allow employees more opportunities to meet and discuss with their managers or leaders. Okay, that's all from me and my group. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. We move to the third group. Oh, saya kenal ni. Aini ni saya kenal ni. Apa khabar awak Aini? Comel je ha. Speaker tu awak tak buka speaker.
Doktor, hi. Good morning.
Okay.
Dah boleh
Okay,
start ke?
Yes, you may start now.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and very good morning to Dr. Bahya and all of you. We are from Group 12 and we're presenting about the teamwork and communications. And first of all, my name is Nurul Zulaika binti Muhammad and my other members are Mirahana binti Ahmad Rahayuddin and Nurul Aini Akma binti Hamdi. Okay, next. So our topic will be teamwork and also communications. Okay, next. Okay, so this is the outline of the content that we'll be talking about after this. We'll be discussing about the definitions, the common issues, solutions, and the recommendations, the importance as well as the conclusions. Okay, next. Okay, first of all, communication. Okay, what is the meaning by communications? Okay, communication is basically sending and receiving the information between two or more people. Okay, the person that receive the information is called senders, while the other person that receive the information is called receiver. Okay, so there are three types of communication, basically verbal, written, and non-verbal. I'll be explaining after this. And the informations can be included with facts, sometimes ideas, the concept, the opinions, belief, instructions, and sometimes even the emotions. Okay, next. Okay, so these are the three types of the communications. So for verbal communication, it's basically a face-to-face communication, such as lectures and interviews. The non-verbal communication is basically it is basically a transmission of messages without using any words, such as like body language, hand gestures, eyes, and facial expressions. And the written communication is basically any form of interaction that using written words such as memos, reports, emails, or maybe some kind of text. Okay, next. Okay, so the directions of the communication. Communication can flow vertically and laterally. It's basically a message from a sender to a receiver that either from downwards, upwards, and also the lateral communications. Okay, next, the downward communication. Downward communication basically the communication from the higher level to the lower levels. And for upwards communication is basically the opposites of the downwards, from employees to the upper levels such as managers or supervisors. And the last one is the lateral communication, which is the discussion among the employees who are at the same levels. Okay, next I'll be passing the presentation to Aini.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Nurul Aini Akmal binti Hamdi, and my part is communication process. So the communication process has three elements, which is the sender, the receiver, and the feedback. Okay, theories of communication in organizational. Theories, there are three theories in the communication. Okay, the first one is Weber's classic organizational theory of fixed structures. The second one is Tompkins and Cheney's organizational control theory, and the third one is this managerialism theory. Okay, what is Weber's classic organizational theory? Okay, Weberian theory holds that organization have clearly defined a role and responsibilities, and hence communication is hierarchical, structured, and clear. For the Tompkins and Cheney's organizational theory, control theory, this theory holds that there are four kinds of control that determine how organizations exercise power within, and they are simple, technical, bureaucratic, and convertive. And this managerialism theory, this highlight of the highlight of this theory is that this goes beyond fixed notions of the organizations and instead posits a view of organization that take into account in the democratic aspirations of the theory and the power centers in the organization. Most common issues in communication and how to overcome them. Okay, the first issue is ego and attitude. One worker may want to take over discussions and prevent other members from speaking their minds. Another might refuse to lose an agreement and accept that another person might be right. Okay, how to overcome that? How to overcome it? That is to make sure that the team focuses on the work and issues at hand. Okay, the second issue is passive listening. It is simply hearing that the other person has to say without truly understanding it or empathizing. This can lead to misunderstandings and friction, which could then deter the workplace from being creative and productive. To overcome it is to make sure to stress the importance of active listening. The third issue is cultural differences. As we know, today's workplace has become more diverse, especially if your organization deals with international clients or has employees abroad. Although there is diversity in the workplace, people might to be more persuaded by people from their same culture or backgrounds. How to overcome it is to try to mix people of different backgrounds together and try to have diverse people collaborate on brainstorming activities and projects. Okay, the last one is poorly written communication. This issue have different communication tools. There are different communication tools, and to get the point across, such as corporate desktop or paper software, newsletter, and memos. However, if your material are poorly written, Your messages might cause confusion and frustration amongst your staff members. To overcome it, is to make sure to always proofread the copy before sending it. You may also option to ask a colleague to look through your work and to help pinpoint any mistake or typos. Okay, the importance of communication. The communication promotes motivation by informing and clarifying the employees about the task to be done, the manner they are performing the task, and how to improve their performance if it is not up to the mark. Communication is a source of information to the organizational members for decision-making process, as it helps identifying and assessing alternative course of actions. Communication also plays a crucial role in altering individuals' attitude. For example, a well-informed individual will have better attitude than a less informed information. Organizational magazines, journals, meetings, and various other forms of oral and written communication help in molding employees' attitude. Communication also helps in socializing. In today's life, the only presence of another individual fosters of communication. It is also said that one cannot survive without communication. Okay, summary of communication. In a conclusion, understanding the different methods of communication is very helpful in professional and personal setting. Effective communication increases efficiency and decreases misunderstanding that can lead to conflict. Communication is basically the process of exchange information, belief, and feelings amongst people. To communicate effectively, we need to make it simple, short, clear, direct, and two-way communication. We should recognize and remove all barriers in communication. Okay, that's all from me. I will pass to the next presenter.
Kejap ya. Sorry, tadi bising, so saya kena tukar tempat sekejap. Sorry sebab lambat. Okay. Good morning and Assalamualaikum to my beloved lecturer and my fellow friends. Before I start, my name is Amira Hana binti Rahayuddin and I will present about teamwork. Next. Okay, what is teamwork? Teamwork is basically a cooperation between those who are working on a task. So when a group of people work together cohesively towards a common goal, creating a positive working atmosphere and supporting each other to combine individual strength to enhance team performance. Next. So basically, types of teamwork we have four, which is functional team, virtual team, cross-functional team, and self-directed team. So this is the only four types that I want to share. Actually, there are more types of teamwork that you guys may search online later on. So the first one is functional team. Functional team is something that related to function, such you want to create a new function or purchase a new function or anything that related to making a new function. And the second one is a cross-functional team. Cross-functional team is a team where people from different functions work towards a common goal. The members of this team could be a subject matter expert from different functions. For example, within a group, we have people from different departments, such as employees from marketing department or accounting department. So they will form a team, and usually this team is formed for a big project,
which is that big project have various span of multiple function. The third team is a virtual team. Virtual team is a team that is not sitting together, which is does not have a face-to-face interaction. So basically, this type of team, they not seeing each other face-to-face physically. So maybe they will using online base such as meeting online where they can discuss and sit together and talk about their particular task. And the last one is self-directed team. These are not formally assigned to a particular project. The members of the self-directed team come together on their own with the minimum input from management. For instance, like when they see a problem, they will directly form a team and focus on solving that problem to make sure that the goal can be achieved. Next. So this is teamwork process. Basically, teamwork process is short and simple. There are three elements, which is action process, transition process, and interpersonal process. So action process is something like information that related to the goal, and they make sure that the goal can be reached. For transition process is teamwork activities, where those teamwork members are prepared for the next and future activities. And the last one is interpersonal process. Interpersonal process is where manners of each member that they manage their relationship between action process and transition process. Next. So this is common issues that always happen within the teamwork. The first one is poor communication. The team member may interrupt or talk over one another. There may be consistent silence from some members during the meeting, allusions to problem, but failure to formally address them, or false consensus. For instance, like everyone is nodding in agreement without they truly understand or truly agreeing. The second one is lack of participation. The team members fail to complete assignment. There may be poor attendance at the team meetings or low energy during their meetings. Next. Okay, the third one is absence of team identity. The members of the team may not feel mutually accountable to one another for the team's objective. There may be a lack of commitment and effort. There will be conflict between the team goals and members' personal goals, or either poor collaboration. And the last issue is groupthink. The team is unwilling or unable to consider alternative ideas or approaches. There will be lack of critical thinking and debate over the ideas. This often happens when the teams are overemphasize team agreement and unity. Next. So basically, when there is issue, there will be a solution. So the solution is we need to understand one another's role, responsibility, and work practices. We also need to establish an open and interpersonal communication with other teammates. The third one is we should work effectively together in close collaboration. Maybe we can work in pairs to be more focused and effective. And the last one is ensure all the best ideas get implemented regardless of their resources. Next. Okay, so this is the importance of teamwork in organization. The first one is work efficiency. So teamwork enables us to accomplish tasks faster and more efficiently than tackling projects individually. So how they increase their work efficiency is when they work together to complete some particular task, they will increase their work efficiency. So each employees need to know their responsibility and roles within that teamwork. The second one is improve employee relation. Teamwork is important in organization because it provides employees with an opportunity to bond with one another, which improve relation among them. So for instance, employees will feel valued or appreciate once they complete some particular task. So it will improve more relation of employee within the team. And the third one is increased accountability. Teamwork increases the accountability of every member of the team, especially when working under people who command a lot of respect within the business. And the last one is learning opportunities. Cooperating on a project is an opportunity for new workers to learn from more experienced employees. Teams that often consist of members who differ from one another in terms of skill or talent. Next. So, summary of teamwork is that teamwork just not a means of measuring the aspect of organizational behavior, as it is a method of actually completing the task in the business. In cases like the workload is complex, the members of a team can easily divide the work based on the numbers of members and their strength in order to properly complete the task. So thank you, and that's all from our group.
Okay, thank you very much, Amira Hana and the rest. Aini tadi and then Nurul Zaraika. So today kita tak ada quiz sebab I nak you submit case study. So make sure complete semua dengan cover set dengan nama ahli kumpulan and everything. Submit through clip ya. Ketua sahaja yang akan submit, yang lain tak perlu submit. Okay, basically that's it for today. InsyaAllah we see you again next week. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi. Nak dengar sikit suara? Waalaikumsalam.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay.
Thank you, Doktor.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you, Doktor.
Kami pun waalaikumsalam juga.
Thank you, Doktor.
Alright, thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Waalaikumsalam, Doktor.